Hey everyone, this is the weekly energy oracle reading for Twin Flames. And I had pulled the cards before and started the reading, but I just felt this like blockage in my throat chakra. So I just kind of relaxed and I was meditating and I kind of got a different understanding of what the cards meant than it was before. If you're reading for someone or if you're reading for yourself, pay attention to these subtle signs that or not so subtle signs the spirit gives you. I literally could not form words. I could not speak properly. So I really had to think about it and I did gain a different perspective of the way the cards were. For the first card, this one flew out of the deck, and this is the first card for the masculine, and it is the Angel of Balance. This one, along with his other two cards, which is Action, which was the horses again that we got last week, and the second chakra, which is an Archangel Ariel. For him, this is him balancing and getting a better understanding of accepting intimacy. I had Spirit communicate to me a few days ago about the problems that a lot of us people, on the twin flames on the second wave of ascension, and some that are even in the third wave of ascension, we have problems receiving love. And it seems a little weird to think about that because we're always seems like we're looking for love, but you have to really look within with this and think, am I open and able to receive love? Am I the type that when someone gives me a gift, I get nervous? I don't, I feel awkward. I feel strange. But when it comes to giving gifts, I love giving gifts. I'm that type of person myself. Also, another thing is, are you resistant to or turned off by a lot of public displays of affection, by a lot of like eye contact and things like that? Those type of things indicate that you may have a problem receiving love. If you're just, you see these mushy romantic movies and they make you gag or they're just disgusting, you're like, oh, this is so awkward. That might indicate that you have a little bit of an issue receiving love. And in this reading, the masculine and feminine both have that issue going on and they're working through it. It doesn't mean that all of a sudden you're going to start getting into all that, heavy, overly romantic, mushy stuff. No, it doesn't mean that at all. If that's not your thing, it won't be your thing. But any kind of negative feelings about affection, touch, intimacy, things like that, those things are going to be dealt with because we don't want to be closed off from our twin. We don't want to be physically or telepathically or emotionally or any way closed off from our twin because that just creates more blocks. So the Archangel Ariel, the second chakra, is the card of intimacy. And that, along with the action card that was before that, is the masculine twin is starting to break through those blocks, those intimate blocks. And it doesn't mean that the masculine doesn't enjoy intimacy or doesn't enjoy sex. It actually could be the opposite. The masculine could have an issue with sexual addiction. And in that situation, when a lot of times when a person is promiscuous, it's not that they're addicted to sex. They're, the actual act of sex. They're addicted to trying to find a way to validate themselves or even to try to find a way to avoid receiving love by just giving love and then shutting off. A lot of masculine twins who in the past have closed off from their lover after being intimate or are the type that go through a lot of lovers, they are the type that they want the validation of actually giving the pleasure, giving that physical part. But when it comes to it coming back to them, they close down. That's what it and it happens to both the masculine and the feminine. And I think in this situation, the feminine has also dealt with that, but they've dealt with it in a different way. So his his fourth card is Caring Connections, and this just confirms that all these things that he's dealing with the balance and balancing his physical and emotional parts in the action and with the intimacy of the second chakra, it just confirms that that is in relation to his union. in relation to union. It's not in relation to a work relationship or a family thing. It's related to the union. Now for the feminine side, we're still seeing a lot of stuff with her relating to her work, and not her 9 to 5 job. I'm saying her work, her life purpose. And her first card is the World, which indicates endless possibilities that are open for her. And the second card for her is the Garden and the Gate, which this one with the girl standing behind the gate, it represents the feminine looking out into the garden and seeing all the abundance that's waiting for her, but she's standing behind the gate because she's afraid to move forward. She's happy in that security, and she is afraid to open that door and walk out into the garden. And this again can be related to feeling like you're afraid to leave your current job. You're afraid to leave connections behind. You're afraid to leave networks behind. And there's some times that we may need to make a drastic change from something that we went to college for and got a degree in and spent all that money on. You got to let that go. If this is something that you are being led by spirit to do, you got to make that move. Because if you're doing what your mom wants you to do, or your dad wants you to do, or someone else wants you to do that doesn't make you happy, that's going to keep you from your union. It's going to keep you from what you need in order to move on with your life purpose. The third card is Strategy. And this is a good card for the feminine because we are definite planners. We don't just jump into things and, expect the best outcome. We're smart. We plan. We need something solid so that before we leave, we can say, okay, well, this is what I have. I have all my ducks in a row. And this is a card of having all your ducks in a row. And this is a card of saying, okay, well, here's what I'm going to do. Here's the steps that I need to take to do it. And her fourth card is a card of Envy. And this is a warning to her that while she's making these plans and while she is transitioning to this new career or new life path, she needs to get the feeling of lack out of her mind. There is no lack in the spirit world. There's no lack when you're fulfilling your life purpose. This is, it's a scary time. But, be grateful every single day for what you do have. Have an attitude of gratitude. Focus on abundance. Don't let anything in the media or any kind of fears overcome what you need to do. All that stuff that's going on in the world is just 3D ego based. We're above all that right now. We're thinking in the 5D. We're not thinking in the 3D. We want to get to a point where we're looking at all this stuff going on and saying, you know what, I'm not a part of this. I'm staying out of this. It's kind of like if you're walking down the street and you see a fight, our egos want to jump in and be the hero and say, oh, well, I'm going to save this person. And when we know that if you see people fighting, it's better to stand in the background and say, well, hey, I'm going to call somebody for help, but I'm going to stay away from the situation. And that's what we need to do with everything here. We need to call upon our guides, our angels for help and help us to love everyone in the universe and help send that healing energy. But we don't need to get in the middle of it. We don't need to risk, getting hurt or getting punched or hurt or anything like that happening. Now for the first card for the union, it's that Angel of Strength. And that's who we need to call upon while we're going through this process, while the masculine is going through his transitions with his intimacy in his physical body, and while the female is going through her life purpose transitions. This Angel of Strength will be here for us, and she will protect us. She's got the lion in front of her. This is a lot of times how I imagine my guides, is just having this lion or this animal right there, just as a guard animal to protect us. And animals are just such a beautiful symbolism of strength. And second one is the throat chakra, and this is reminding us to increase the communication, keep the communication in a way of love, Don't use our words to cut down or hurt someone or to assert our power or to give an attitude of self righteousness. We are all in this together. And this, along with the angel of strength, is going to affirm that our words will be used for the best outcome possible. And that is, love and healing of the universe. Well, I hope everyone had a great weekend. And I will see you all on Thursday for the weekly tarot reading. Have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful Monday. And namaste.